hogy majd be a pályának. Először a nő teljesíti az akadályokat, önök is látják, hogy...
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the live streaming monopentathlon team mixed relay here in World Cup 4 Kecskemét. You are joined by myself, Heather Fell, and I have a co-host.
Hello, Heather. I'm Charles Fernandez.
And we're going to be talking you through the riding of the mixed relay. We've already had this morning's 2x100 meter swim relay, and then the round-robin fencing, and we've just finished off with the bonus round of fencing, and that's given us the scores up to date, and currently it is the United States in the lead. And Charlie, if you want to talk us through a little bit of what's happened so far this morning.
Well, yes, United States is currently in first place with a couple, Margot Isaacson and Nathan Scrimshire. First place in the fencing with 27 victories and 13 defeats, and second place in the swimming with a time of 1:57. Second place we have Hungary, Anatot and Adam Maorshi with 27 victories and 13 defeats in the fencing, and third place in the swim with a time of 1:58. In third place we have Korea, who is Sunwoo Kim and Woongae Jun, who had 25 victories in the fence with 15 defeats, and fifth place in the swim with a total time of 2 minutes.
Cool, so that's our top three, and it looks like the competition at the moment is between the top three. Obviously, the riding can make a significant difference, but third place Korea are 22 seconds behind the leader, and then it drops right down. So fourth, the Czech Republic team are 48 seconds off the lead, and the rest sort of drop off after that. So the first few teams we're going to be seeing in the arena, they're just coming here, they'll be getting experience today, and are very unlikely to be battling for any medals, and it really will be, the fight will be on between Korea, Hungary and the USA. Hungary, probably Adam Maroshi especially, will be wanting that medal. He finished off the podium. I'm not sure, I haven't seen the results. Was he top 10 yesterday? Did he make the top 10?
I am not aware if he made top 10 or not, but
he would have been disappointed with his performance. I think he'd been struggling with a bit of an illness after the Rome World Cup, so wasn't in perfect condition, but he did win the World Cup here in Kecskemét last year in his home country. So Maroshi is now teamed with a very young athlete, Anna Todd, and they will be hoping to at least get a medal, preferably the gold, but I'm sure they'll be happy if they get some sort of medal today. USA, Margot will be dying to win a gold medal. She sort of has a bit of a World Cup curse. I mean, I shouldn't say curse, because she's had a great season. She's won 2 silvers and a bronze out of the 3 competitions she's done, but that gold eludes her, and maybe teaming with Nathan Scrimshire today, she could get the gold medal in the relay.
Yeah, they had a very good fence, really. They're really up at the top, and I can see that they're working well together. And like you said, I mean, they're pretty close together, number 1 and number 2, United States with Hungary. I mean, there's a 5-second difference so far right now. Before the riding, before the combined, and like you said, it drops a little bit to Korea, which is 22 seconds behind. But after that, I think from 4th place to 8th place, there's a close time difference there before the riding, the combined event. So we have those countries very close together. So we're going to look at the results after riding to see what will become of the combined.
So yeah, just 11 teams competing today. A few of the top countries have actually decided to go home. It's mid-season, so it's very important that they get back into solid training. It's the Kremlin Cup in Russia will be the next competition for many of the athletes. It's an invitation-only competition, and some good prize money up for grabs, which pentathletes are always keen to get. And then it will be World Cup final, and that will have been decided after this weekend's competition, and that'll be the winner of that gets an automatic Olympic slot. So a lot to go back and train for. But now we are about to start the riding, and it is the team of Romania in 11th place who will be first to enter the arena. And it is Carmen Maria Dumitrescu and Daniel Jabrica.
The team of Romania, finished 11th place in the fence with 10 victories and 30 defeats, and 11th in the swim with a time of 2:07.
So yes, I mean, that fencing has put them, sadly they're 11th in both, but it's great to see them competing and getting the chance to actually do the riding. That's one thing the relay gives these younger athletes and these less experienced athletes who wouldn't make the final in an individual. They wouldn't get the opportunity to ride, but by entering the team relay, they get this riding opportunity at a senior level competition.
Yeah, I think it's a very, very good opportunity, very exciting opportunity to be able to participate in the riding event. And the bell is off, and I think they're about to start.
So the girls always start the mixed relay first, so that means it is Dumitrescu. She's clear over number 1. Did land a little on the neck, so it looks like she needs to work a bit on her position. Now the riding in the mixed relay and any relay is that bit more simple. So there's 8 obstacles and each one is separate. There's no combination, so no double and no triple. So it makes it a little bit easier. It's easier on the horses as well, as they've competed, most of these horses, the last couple of days. Clear so far for Dumitrescu. She seems to be not looking that stable, but she's not interfering with the horse, and I can hear some encouragement from her teammate, and that's over number 8 as she passes over to her teammate Dobrica, clear over the first. Oh, now Dobrica needs to allow the horse to flex over the fence. He's holding the horse far too tight with his hands. It's quite painful to watch, and you can see the horse's head going up in the air. And this is really, he's really lucky that the horse is clearing these jumps. I mean, if they were a little bit bigger, the poles would be falling down. Yeah, the horse is really trying to cooperate with him, but he is just not letting it do its work. But so far, it's a clear round, but we'll see how this competition finishes. Well, there's a pole, and that's about time too, if you ask me. That really was deserved. He deserved to have more poles down, and I don't like to say deserved, but there's another one. If you ride like that, then you don't deserve a clear round. So that's 2 poles that I saw. Whether there was any off shot, we will wait to see. But I'm sure the Romanians will be happy with that round, having very little senior riding experience. Yeah, I've personally never seen a Romanian team at least do the mixed relay and modern pentathlon. It's great to see a new country, or at least not a country that's not familiar with the sport, and at least it's good to see them participate in the mixed relay. Sad for the horse. I think he was holding him back a little bit too much and not letting the horse do its work. But there's a team from Romania. Yeah, so they will no doubt be happy with that. 268, I think, was their total riding score out of 300, the maximum. So as they leave the arena, we get ready for our next team, and it is the team of Mexico. I think they just have to wait to be invited into the arena. And they've been given the green light as they enter. So we will have Elena Nogueira. She'll be riding first, and she'll be followed by her teammate Manuel Padilla. The couple from Mexico finished 10th in the fence with 15 victories and 25 defeats, 8th in this one with a time of 2:04. Now, Charles, obviously Mexico being so close to Guatemala, do you know much about this pairing? This actual mix, the mixed pairing for this competition today, I really don't know them. Normally, I would see Tamara Vega and Ismael Hernandez competing in the mixed relay, but as for today, I see that Mexico has changed their cards and their game plan, and we'll see what Manuel and Elena has to bring for us in the riding today. So the relay, lots of countries do use this as an opportunity to give their younger athletes the experience. It's a bit of fun. Not many countries count this towards any criteria for getting medals at home. So there's less pressure on the athletes, and it's really nice to see them sharing the competitions, I suppose. And these athletes have come out here to compete, and it's great that they get an extra day of competition. Yeah, I think the mixed relay, I really enjoy it myself when I do it, because it's just an opportunity to have fun and actually, try new things. I mean, if you want to try something in the swim, if you want to try something in the fencing, I mean, you're not going to be counted against it. So. But I think it's also really nice just having, modern pentathlon is such an individual sport. It's really nice to be part of a team. Oh yeah, I love teamwork when I get the opportunity to mix, and it's something that I really like about it, because you depend on someone else, which is something that you normally don't do in the sport of modern pentathlon, because, as you said, it's an individual sport. And Nogueira is getting around this very smoothly. She doesn't look as relaxed as some of the very seasoned riders, but she didn't interfere with the horse, and she got around there clear. So she's passed over to Manuel Padilla, her teammate, and at the moment they are clear. So Just 6 fences left to go for the Mexican duo. Just give it a little tap on the shoulder going into that fence. Make sure the horse knew that he wanted to go forward. So it's a sharp right-hand turn now as they go past teammate and away from the box. And just making that turn, but it's just a single upright fence. He wasn't quite as straight as he needed to be and knocked it, but the rail stayed. So we'll be happy that luck was on his side over that fence.
Yeah, he seems somewhat comfortable, but slow at the same time. But he is comfortably passing those obstacles with the horse, and the horse seems to be cooperating, and he finishes that last jump clear and goes into the box.
Oh, so we'll wait and see. I think there might be a few time faults. I haven't been given the actual time allowed, but it did seem quite a steady round, both rounds.
Yeah, it seemed pretty clear, pretty calm, and we'll see what their final score is for that team of Mexico.
Mexican team before the riding, the equivalent of 1 minute 31 seconds behind the leaders if we put it into combined time. So not a threat for the podium, but a good ride will still be very, they'll be very grateful for that, I'm sure. So yes, quite a few time penalties. Score of 2.77 for the Mexican pair.
If I'm looking at this right, I mean, I see that the course is pretty fast.
I think so, and I mean, this is when it's important with the changeover in the relay as well, because the clock doesn't stop when the athletes come into the box. So, as one athlete is coming in, you're allowed to leave as soon as the other horse has entered the box, which you'll see with the flower border where the spare one is waiting. And if they take a bit of time there, that's wasting valuable seconds. So, it's very much about having the right impulsion coming out of the box, but also not hanging around. So we are getting ready for our next team. It'll be interesting to see if they ride a little bit faster and where they end up on with any time faults or not. So we will be expecting Kazakhstan coming into... Nope, sorry, I've just missed one. I think we're waiting to see who the next team is, and it should be the team of Egypt. Okay, we've just been told that Egypt aren't competing in the final, so we're not exactly sure what has happened. They might have had a problem in the warm-up, and I know in Cairo, I think it was, when one of the Egyptian riders actually jumped the fence the wrong way in the warm-up and
if that was
eliminated.
Sorry for interrupting you, but I think it was Sarasota that happened with Heidi Morsi. Yes,
yeah,
correct.
So I'm sure she's learned her lesson. So we've just actually been told that it wasn't an error in the warm-up. One of the duo, either Morsi or Hamad, the two pairings in the Egyptian team, has got a back injury. So sadly, the Egyptian team have had to withdraw from the riding event, which is a real shame.
Yeah, unfortunately, I believe it was Eslan Hamad who had the back injury. I was aware of this when I was talking to him a couple days ago, where he has been struggling a little bit in this season with a back injury, trying to regain strength and forced to compete, but apparently that has not been the case for him. So now we have the country of Kazakhstan approaching the arena.
So the duo of Kazakhstan will be Elena Potapenko and Vladislav Zukarev.
The pair of Kazakhstan finished fencing in 9th place with 16 victories and 24 defeats, and had an amazing swim of first place with a time of 1:56.74.
Now both of these athletes are unknown to me. Or Zukarev, sorry, no, is an athlete who has been competing. The girl, Elena Potapenko, I haven't seen compete before in a senior final, so we have no idea what to expect from her riding.
Yeah, normally when I compete in the men, I only see guys from Kazakhstan. I've never seen a girl from there, and maybe it's because I just don't look at it, or
well, we've had some strong athletes from Kazakhstan in the past, but it's not a country that has really been represented in the women's field recently. So I think they're just waiting for their time. So the athletes are all allocated a time. They'll have their 20 minutes warm-up, which starts at an exact time, and then the time you enter into the arena is also exact on the timetable, and that's just to make sure the other teams have their slots as well. So with eliminating Egypt, we've caught up a little bit, and we'll be waiting to see if Kazakhstan are allowed to start a little bit early, because they look like they're ready, and I think they're being allowed into the arena now. So coming in very tentatively, no hurry for the Kazakhstan duo. But we've got all afternoon, so that's not a problem.
I think they're just enjoying this beautiful day on the grass with the sun.
It really has changed the weather. Today is a great day for spectators.
Today's beautiful.
Such a shame it wasn't like this the last couple of days. I mean, for me, commentating has not been a problem, but some of the spectators on the bank holiday weekend, it would have been nice if the sun had come out a little earlier. So Potapenko and Sukarev are heading to the box. They saluted the judges. They head to the changeover box, and Potapenko will be the first rider to face this 8-jump course. And now if I was them, I would at least do a little bit of a trot, get my horse awake, make sure that it's responding to me as you come into the arena, because horses can quite often react differently when they come into arena than what they've been in the warm-up, and that's one of the really difficult parts of modern pentathlon riding. But anyway, Potapenko is now into a canter, and she is off to the first fence.
I believe the horses need to be a little bit woken up before going into the arena, and well, I mean, for this type of course to be set in the time that is set also, I mean, some people are going to have to really fly out there, really gallop out there for them to get into the time that was set.
And it looks like the Kazakhstan duo, or Potapenko started off, is doing her best to make up that time. She's looked like we were going to have a slow round by the way they entered the box, but she's come out and she's meaning business.
Yeah, so far she has a clear course, and now she's going to head into the last 2 obstacles.
This is a good round for Elena Potapenko. And spoke too soon. Oh, we just had a head in the way, so I think that was just one pole that I saw go down. We wait in case there was another off camera, but she's handed to teammate Zukarev, and he took quite a long time there to come out of the box and has just gone straight past fence number 1. So that is a refusal. That'll be an extra 10 penalties added to the Kazakhstan score. Potapenko had 7 penalties for that pole down. And oh, second time just lucky. Didn't look like he was going, and I think Sukarev is really struggling to get the correct approach to the fences. The horse needs to know what he's being told to jump.
Sadly, I see no sense of direction here, and wow, he jumped really off to the left on that obstacle, and looks like he's having some difficulties trying to maintain on the horse, and well, I think that was the 3rd refusal.
That was, and I think we're not going to see the Kazakhstan pair finish because only 1 refusal left, and if what we're seeing is anything to go by, he's going to have another one. Oh my goodness, and yeah, I think he jumped the fence before his horse.
He did jump the fence before his horse, and sadly,
yeah, so that's a fall for Zukarev, and he's looking in pain on the floor. I mean, he did get thrown away from the horse, so luckily, I'm thinking if we watch a replay, he shouldn't have been too injured from the actual horse, but it'll be how he landed on the ground. He's holding his hip and knee, and we just wait whilst the paramedics attend to him. Can't see any movement at the moment, but he did definitely move when he landed into that position, so I think it's just a lot of pain.
Yeah,
he's moving now, which is that's the main thing. As long as an athlete's moving, broken bone can be fixed.
Yeah, sadly, also on the fence while I was watching, he apparently slipped on the piste and actually hurt his back this morning.
It looks like it's his back that they're attending to now, so it might have been an injury that he's just re-aggravated from that fall. And I don't like to say that, but we're just watching the replay, and I mean, he almost fell off just going around the corner, and look at that, no control going into this fence, and he honestly jumped the jump before the horse, and the horse might have just caught his back as he went over.
He chipped his back with the front leg.
Yeah, so we're just going to have a delay now as the paramedics will attend Zukarev. But this is when the modern pentathlon riding, it proves how difficult it is. I mean, so when you see a good rider, it looks really easy, and when they've got some of the good horses that we saw yesterday in the men's, but it's really not trying to learn. You're learning 5 different sports, and some countries, they don't start the riding until quite late in their career. So there is a standard in the riding that has to be met, and I'm just wondering whether Sukarev is quite up to that standard, to be honest.
Well, I think you do have to have a riding license approved by the UIPM in order to ride on a level A competition course, but apparently we can see that he was having some difficulties when he started.
And I mean, this really was that these horses in here in Hungary, we've seen 2 days of competition and they are brilliant pentathlon horses. The only mistakes we have seen have purely been rider error. So it's been a great, oh, this is good to see Zikarev standing up. He looks in pain. I think his jacket has been split in two and he's in a lot of pain. And I think they should really be carrying him off, but hopefully the paramedics will change their mind and stretcher him off because I don't want to make any more injuries. But it's very difficult to be able to monitor the level of pentathlon riding, and the idea of the certificate is to make sure that the riders are safe on the horse. And watching that round, Zikarev was not safe on his horse and he shouldn't be riding in. This is just my opinion, but I feel very strongly about it, and it's something that, coming from a riding background, I would never let a friend or a relative ride in a show course of this height that didn't have the right standard, and it can be dangerous, as sadly we've just seen.
Yeah, I believe I personally never seen an actual test or a way you can qualify the athletes in order to jump the courses that are put by these competitions and organizing committees, but I don't even know how I got my riding license, at least, but
I think it's done by country, and obviously a country like Kazakhstan really want to enter a team into this event, and we need a little bit more uniformity across the board. But anyway, moving on to our next team. So let's hope Zikarev is fine, but we now move on to Chile. So Javier Rosas and Esteban Bustos of Chile are the pair in this mixed relay team.
Chile finished 4th in the fence with 22 victories and 18 defeats, and had in 10th place in the swim with the time of 2:03, but had 10 penalty points because of a false start by Esteban Bustos.
Now that would have been the takeover that he just obviously got a little bit excited watching his teammate come in, and maybe she put in an extra stroke he wasn't expecting. I didn't see it, but that's usually what happens in a relay. The takeover, it's always very important. It's a time when you can gain time, but obviously if you gain a little bit too much, then you're in trouble. So it looks like Javier Rosas is just having a little problem getting into the box, but the judge has held up his flag and the bell has been rung. So we are ready to start the ride for the Chilean pair, and it will be Javier Rosas who is off first.
Rosas is another young athlete here in the modern pentathlon world. Just coming out of youth, also a Nanjing Olympic athlete, youth Olympic athlete, and is really getting now into the world, which is senior.
So she's again one who hasn't had that much riding experience. She's not made too many finals yet, but she is very young. And you can just see she needs to have a little bit more leg on the horse, because the horse is not quite sure what she wants as she comes into the fence. She really needs to push him on now, but this is a very genuine horse, and he's taking her around at the moment. You can just see he puts in an extra stride sometimes, wondering, waiting to hear from the rider, do you want me to jump this?
Yeah, the horses they're very, very smart animals, and actually my favorite animal, just because the way they can cooperate with their rider, and it's a really beautiful sport too. Wow. So
she got around. That was a clear for Javier Rosas, and she's handed over to teammate Esteban Bustos. He's clear over the first and second. Now Bustos has more experience. He's made a few finals in his career.
Actually went to the Olympics in 2012 too, in London.
He certainly does have some experience, and that riding course was pretty difficult. So this for him should be fairly straightforward on these lovely Hungarian horses. He's making fairly light work of this so far, really giving with the horse. And this, if you watch as he goes over the fence, his hands rise up the neck and just allow the horse to curve and relax over the fence. Really kind hands as he jumps, and that's what we like to see.
Beautiful finish.
So this could be, well, we'll have to wait and see on the time. They were a little bit faster, and it looks like Bustos just struggling to get his horse back under control as he entered into the changeover box. Now these two did keep moving, but having said that, Rosas's round was a little bit hesitant, so I think they would have lost some time on that. But we wait to see 276, so quite a few time penalties again, where I don't think we're going to see a full 300-point ride today.
I'm very surprised with the amount of time penalties that are added onto the riding of these teams. I mean, it's a lot of time penalty points, and apparently the course is really, really fast.
Well, that is our second best ride. Mexico had a score of 277, so they were 1 second quicker than the Chilean duo. But let's see if Australia can do any better. We are about to welcome into the arena the Australian duo, brother and sister in fact, Chloe and Max Esposito.
The Australian duo finished 7th in the fencing with 20 victories and 20 defeats, and 6th in the swim with a time of 2:02.
Now, Max Esposito was having an absolutely storming competition yesterday. He was, I think, 6th or 7th before the riding.
Yeah, he had a great fencing, amazing fence.
And I mean, both of these two are very strong swimmers. That's that's shown in their time. They were 2:02, but I think maybe stronger over the 200 meters. And it was such a shame to watch. And when I was commentating yesterday, I so wanted Max Esposito to get around, but his lack of experience in the riding really showed, and he had quite a few refusals. He lost his balance a little bit, lost his stirrup, and then just couldn't quite get it back together, and sadly dropped right down the rankings. So it's a chance for the Australian pair to redeem themselves slightly in the riding. Let's see, Chloe, the older sister, who's got a lot of experience, will be starting off. We haven't seen Chloe compete until this season after London. She had a bit of a break, but they've both, and the whole family, have moved over to Hungary, to Budapest, so they've only got an hour to go home after this competition, and instead of the 24-hour flight they might have had. So Chloe's off to a good start, clear at this stage. She had a storming combined in the individuals. She moved up from 15th to 5th place. So I think these two could be ones to watch. If they can put themselves in any sort of contention, they could move right up in this combined event.
Yeah, they are both very strong in the combined event, and really, Max yesterday also had a great combined, even though after the riding he still fought till the end, and that is something that I really admire about this athlete, that he's so young, but he knows he's so capable of doing stuff, and I mean, it's just really encouraging and really admirable to see him fight till the end.
Well, I think both of them, you watch them in a semi-final, they will run till the end in a semi-final as well. I think they only have one gear, these two, and it's fast when it comes to the running. So let's hope they get around clear and they could maybe move up a little bit, and we could see an exciting combined finale. But that's one pole down for Max Esposito. He's just got 2 jumps left to go. And they could do with both of these fences staying upright to give them a bit of a chance. Oh, it's maybe not going to be. 2 poles down. We'll wait and see how many time faults. It wasn't the fastest round, so there will be time faults, but quite how many, we'll have to wait and find out. And when the athletes draw the horse, they are actually given the 2 horses and they can decide between them. So I expect Chloe would have been on the more difficult horse of the 2, and Max would have been given the easier ride.
Yeah, Max, I personally believe he looked pretty good out there, even though he had 2 bars. But
so 268 with 2 poles. So that's actually the fastest round we've seen today. But sadly, they had 14 penalties for the rails. So if I'm just trying to work that out in my head, my maths isn't good enough. But less time penalties than we've seen so far. Anyway, now who do we have next, Charles?
We have Guatemala, Isabel Brandt, along with Jorge Imedi. These 2 couples in the mix finished 5th place in the fencing with 21 victories and 19 defeats, and 7th in the swim with a time of 2:03.
Now, those of you listening, if you don't know, I am from Great Britain, but Charles is from Guatemala, so we might have some biased commentary in just a moment.
Yes, I am, Heather, and we have Isabel Brandt heading into the arena now. Isabel's a very experienced rider, as she's been riding almost all her life since she was little. Her sister, Stephanie Brandt, actually another youth Olympic athlete in riding, is now currently training for the Pan American Games alongside of her sister, but you know, Stephanie's in the equestrian and Isabel Brandt is in modern pentathlon. So a lot of experience in this riding event, and hopefully she'll pass with a clear round.
I mean, it's amazing to see Isabella improve so fast this year. I mean, she's new on the senior circuit and she's been making finals Didn't quite make the final in the women's in the weekend, but she's got another chance to prove herself here today. And they've had a great fence for this young player as well.
What a great ride for Isabel. I'm really proud of her.
Yeah, that was a lovely ride. I mean, it's the shame when she doesn't get in the final, because obviously riding is her strongest part of the 5. So at least the relay gives her that opportunity to really show off her riding skills. It's lovely to watch. So now Emiri, not as experienced in the riding. He's got quite high hands at the moment, but the horse is going nicely for him and he's not interfering, so that's the main thing. But he could just do with relaxing his hand a little bit and the horse would go much nicer and it would flow a little bit more. So now takes a while after each fence before he reacts to where he's going, so this is where he's losing the time, but keeping it moving though. He's not hanging about. We could just do with cutting those corners slightly and making it a little bit shorter, but clear so far, and that's what counts.
Even the speed would be not that ideal, but looks like the couple actually passed the obstacle and the arena really fast. So
now could that be our best ride of the day?
I hope so.
I'm sure you do, but I didn't see a single pole go down, and that was really nice riding by both of them. And we just have to see. Yes, no, it's not quite. So they were pretty slow there. It's a score of 274. So that is actually the 3rd fastest ride of the day, and it really just goes to show that I think especially Emiri, he was taking quite a long time on the corners, not looking at the fence straight away for the next turn, and that's where those valuable seconds just tick away.
I still believe this course is really, really fast.
It is. I'm surprised that, I mean, the measuring, it depends on the line that the course walker has actually decided is the line themselves as they walk it with the measurement, and it's worked out from the distance per second. So a little bit of away from Chloe Esposito. They're very happy after the nice ride the Australian pair had, well, especially Chloe. So we are into the top 4. The next team is a very experienced duo of the Czech Republic, Natalie Dianova and David Svoboda. David Svoboda, the Olympic champion in London 2012, and he's been suffering with a back and leg injury that he's just not managed to get settled down, and at last it's great to see him back competing this year. This is the first time we've seen him really coming back into form. I mean, he made the final in Rome, but didn't really manage to excel. But he said himself that he's 70% fit at the moment, and he's only training to 70%. So, you know, as any athlete knows, it's very frustrating, but you've got to wait for that injury to fully heal before you can get back in it properly.
Yeah, it's very pleasing to see David here today. I mean, he did not. Did he compete in this?
I didn't see him in the semi-final. I don't think he did compete because he is up to standard now where he can pretty much make the final. I mean, he made it relatively comfortably in Rome, so I think he's just decided to come and do the relay, which was also, he came out to Sarasota to do the relay, but I think had to pull out last minute from illness he had there. So it's great, a closer journey to come over to Hungary for this Czech duo. And they'll be looking to try and reach the podium. They're a little bit off at the moment, but it depends what happens in the riding for the next 3. So Natalie Dianova starting off, but they are at the moment, before the ride, 48 seconds equivalent in points behind the leaders, USA. So they definitely need a good ride. But Dianova competing on the senior circuit for many years now, and I don't remember actually seeing her in the individual either, which is interesting. So I'm not actually sure if she's coming back from an injury as well.
I'm pretty sure both of them just came to do the mixed relay, which is...
It's an interesting call.
Yeah.
It might be something to do with the way they're training. The focus of all the athletes this year are World Championships and Europeans, and maybe they didn't want to take the time out of training to come to World Cup number 4, but a lovely round so far, and I think that is a clear for Dianova, and moving faster as well. So let's see if Svoboda is quicker out of the box. It's one of the faster changeovers we've seen, and let's see if the experience of the Olympic champion will show and he'll make it a little bit faster on this second round of the Czech duo. Looks like his horse is pretty strong. He's doing his best to check him back, and look at this. See, this is much quicker on the turn. As soon as he landed, he's looking right and really bringing the horse back.
They're going for those 300 points, and I would really like to see him do it, because right now I haven't seen the team even get close.
I know, so it will be interesting. watching it, it can be deceiving watching. You never know how fast the horse is actually. Oh, what a shame. And that's one pole down for Svoboda, and lucky at the last, but what a shame. I think that would have been our best ride so far today. And he just got a little bit too relaxed and took the top rail of fence number 7 so close to home. But anyway, 277, so that equals the best ride of the day.
With 1 bar, so they were faster.
So that'd actually be a score. If they hadn't had the bar, they would have scored 2:84. So still 16 seconds off the time.
It's incredible. I mean, before the ride, the Czech team was finished 6th place in the fence with 20 victories and 20 defeats, and 4th in the swim with a time of 1:59.
So not the best fence that the Czech duo would have hoped for. But anyway, we're into the top 3, into the medal positions, and these are the 3 teams that have got a little bit of a lead over the rest of the field. So next it is Korea, Sunwoo Kim and Woong Tae-jun.
Yeah, what a young couple out there. Really, June finished 4th place yesterday, if I'm not wrong.
It was, I'm trying to remember, the Koreans were all up there and the positions were changing so fast, but Korea had a great day, and I know it was one of the Koreans who started 9th that finished 4th, so whether that was Jun, I can't remember after all the excitement.
Yeah, the Korean couple finished 3rd in the fence with 25 victories and 15 defeats, and 5th in the swim with a time of 2:00.
So Sunwoo Kim, born in '96, so she's another very young athlete, still in her teenage years. We haven't seen Korean women dominate or win many medals for quite a long time. I'm trying to remember competing. I don't ever remember feeling Korea as a threat when it came to the individual competition. So it'll be interesting to see if maybe they've started to invest and have got some good youngsters coming up through. Because
she's looking very good on that horse.
Oh, Sunwoo Kim looks like she knows what she's doing, and it's often the Koreans in the past have not been as strong in the riding, and especially in the women's. So Sunwoo Kim at this young age is doing a great job. Oh, and I saw that coming. She was just too fast, didn't check the horse, and took that fence number 7 down. But otherwise, a good ride for Kim. And now Jun, let's see what he can do.
A little bit of time taking out of the arena there.
We haven't seen any really quick changeovers, so maybe the riders aren't quite aware of the time, or they're just not managing to coordinate it properly. Left behind, held the horse bit in the mouth, and the horse didn't have a chance of picking his feet up for that fence. That's another pole for the Koreans. Another 7 penalties. No, 2 fences left to go. Can they make it with just the 14 penalties for the jumps? I think there will be some time, but we'll have to see. And we just missed whether that last jump stayed. But by the applauding of the Korean team, a very cohesive team who look very happy with their teammates around. It's great to see the whole team here, still here competing. I mean, supporting, sorry, their teammates. And the relay obviously means quite a bit to the Koreans. Just too flat into that fence. And that's one we didn't see. Oh, no, that was Kim on the first round. And we just sort of start with. Hard to tell by just the legs. So 2:73. Again, that was the quickest round that we've seen for sure. So 14 penalties. If you ignore those 14 penalties, that would have only been 10 seconds or so, just over 10 seconds of time penalty. So that's definitely our fastest round. And let's see if Hungary, having the advantage of being at home, can make up that time, because the time penalties are equating to 2 poles down at the moment.
Yeah,
you know, so actually you're worth risking a little bit and going a little bit faster. Normally in pentathlon, a few seconds, it's not worth the risk. You just ride every fence very carefully and you don't want to have a pole down. But when you're having 14 time penalties,
it's a lot. I mean, I'd prefer a pole than...
Yeah, you'd rather have 1 pole down and be inside the time. So it's interesting. This course is really, I'm really surprised. But anyway, it makes it a little bit more exciting to watch. So there's a crowd, a small crowd that it is, being a Monday, everyone's back at work, but the Hungarians will be looking to see if they can win another medal today with this pair, Anna Todt and Adam Maroshi.
The Hungarian pair finished 2nd in the fencing with 27 victories and 13 defeats, and 3rd in the swimming with a time of 1 minute and 58 seconds.
So this really is experience and the young athlete together. It's a great combination. So Adam Hiroshi will be leading the way. He'll be giving Toth some encouraging words there as they enter the box. Toth had a great competition, making the final, and I think it wasn't expected for her to make it into the women's final. Such a tough competition, and Hungary had the advantage of being able to enter 12 athletes with it being their home World Cup. So it gave this youngster an opportunity to experience Senior World Cup at its best, and got to have a ride as well. So she's already ridden just 2 days ago, but I'm guessing one of the more novice riders, as she does have a back protector on. You can see over her jacket, which just protects the athlete if they do fall off. So, and you can see there, her seat is really wobbly. There's a lot of air between her and the saddle as she goes over the fence. If we watch from this angle, we might see. You can't quite, but if the horse was to stop, I think that Toth would not be very effective. But this horse is obviously very genuine and giving her a nice round.
Yeah, if I remember in the final, she did not have a very good clear round. I think she was eliminated, if I'm not wrong. She did have a lot of problems, so that'll be great for her experience. So clear round for the young Anna Toth of Hungary, and handing over to the experienced veteran Adam Hiroshi. Olympic bronze from London, won the World Cup individual here last year. Hasn't won a medal yet this season, so he would love to get a medal in this relay. But just fighting a little bit with the horse. He only let it go just in time, but set it up nicely. It's obviously very strong and wants to rush at the fences, but Adam is keeping in control. Got in close there, which that on a course like this will waste time. You don't want to be getting in too close to the fences, because then it's slower in the air. It's almost like a jump off today is how the athletes need to be riding, but it's not the way pentathletes are taught to ride. Oh, and how unlucky the final pole went down for Adam Hiroshi. That is just frustrating. Yeah, they looked like they had a clear and comfortable round, even though you could see that they were falling behind a little bit because of the time. But the Hungarian pair finished with a total of 281 points in the ride.
Oh, so that's our best round so far. 12 time penalties still.
I'm really surprised. I've never seen anything like this.
It's bizarre. I would love to know who's measured this course. I think there's some calculation that's gone wrong somewhere. So we only have one pair left. This is the final round. Top ranked after this morning's swim and both of the bonus round and ranking fencing. It will be the team from the USA. So entering the arena now, Margot Isaacson, bronze medalist from the women's individual just 2 days ago, and Nathan Scrimshire made it into the final yesterday, but wasn't threatening any of the top few places. But be interesting to see the fact that both these athletes have performed 2 days of semi-finals and 2 tough finals. It'll be a team that aren't as fresh as some of these that we've got joining us.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, they both made finals. They both competed twice already, and now they're competing for the third time in less than 1 week, if I'm correct. And they just had a storming fence with 27 victories and 13 defeats, and second in the swim with the time of 1 minute and 57 seconds.
So that puts them 5 seconds ahead of the Hungarians and 22 seconds ahead of the Koreans. And I think I would have my money on the USA pair at the moment. That is before the ride, so if they get around this riding, I think it really will be their goal to lose.
Yeah, for some reason I'm expecting that they are now having the game plan in their head that they're going to have to do this course a little bit faster.
It'll be interesting to see. I expect the athletes will rely on coaches to tell them this, because they'll be warming up whilst the scores are happening for the others. So they won't be aware of what's been going on in the riding arena, and it'll be interesting to see if the report has come back from the USA coach to the athletes. And it looks like it has. Margot Isaacson off to a fast start. She's really looking at her next fence as soon as she lands, riding forwards, and she's going to be doing her best to make this fast as is comfortable. Look at that, she's really riding on there. There's a nice spread, you can ride onto that as long as you sit up quickly for the sharp right hand turn, which she has done. She's doing a really nice job.
Yeah, it looks like she's just going at it, and the horse looks comfortable at the same time. So
look at this, there's no hanging around. This has got to be the quickest individual round. It'll be interesting to see if her teammate Nathan Scrimshire can do the same and give them the fastest round of the day. And really riding on, and what a nice round. Well done, Margot Isaacson, really nice to watch. So come on, Nathan Scrimshire, can you get us a clear round today? I think, oh, he just took his hand off to encourage the horse to smack it behind the leg, and he just unbalanced it, and he lost his concentration lost the horse a little bit going into the first fence. So frustrating there for Skirmisher of USA.
Looks like he's going a little bit slower than Margot, but trying to keep a little bit more speed.
It's just not flowing as much this round as Margot's did. This horse looks a little flightier, and Skirmisher making it look not as comfortable, but he's getting there. He's just got 2 fences left to jump, 1 rail down they've had so far, and they will have a few time faults, but it's going to be fairly quick.
Clears that last jump.
You can see he's getting some speed as he struggles to stop as he enters the box and joins his teammate Margot Isaacson. I think the USA pair should be pleased with that as we wait to see if they've maintained their lead. Score of 282, so yes, they do maintain their lead. Still some time penalties, but they got 1 more point than Hungary, so they will start 6 seconds ahead of the Hungarian duo as we go into the combined, and that means Korea will actually be even further behind. So I think it's going to be a battle between Hungary and USA for gold, and then Korea should really, in theory, comfortably hang on for bronze, and maybe there'll be a fight for the other places further down. What are your thoughts, Giles?
Yeah, it looks like a very close competition between first and second place. It's going to be very interesting to see who finishes and takes the gold in that competition right there. But as you said, Korea is also pretty comfortable where they're at, and we'll see if they'll maybe even surprise us by catching up to Hungary or even the United States.
Well, hopefully we will have a very exciting combined finale. This is the final event of the final day of World Cup 4 here in Kecskemét, and myself and Charlie will be back joining you for the combined, so do come back and join us shortly. That's it from us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
És a harmadik lén, vagy el Korea, és körülbelül